Hey guys, it is Melissa and welcome back to my channel. I'm excited you guys are here today because we are going to be announcing the winner of the giveaway at the end of this video. It's actually Wednesday, and so I'm recording this video and then I'm going to edit it, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to get up bright and early and I'm going to go through all of the entries that are on YouTube and all the entries that are on Instagram, combine them together and choose a winner. So I'm really excited. So that will be in this video at the end, and I will be contacting that winner. If that winner does not respond within, I don't know, like 72 hours, whatever's reasonable, then I will do it again and pick a second winner. So thank you guys again for all of your entries and your love, your support. It's just been phenomenal. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Today, we're going to be talking about Lindsay Buziak. And if you're a true crime connoisseur or you watch podcasts or things like that, then you've probably heard about this case, which I have as well. And I knew a lot about it. I didn't realize the amount of conspiracies that are wrapped up in this case, which makes sense because I can't believe it hasn't been solved. Like this is, and always, I mean, I know cases go cold. There's cases that have been cold for 20, 30, 40, 50, forever. They're never solved. I just don't get it, especially as technology has advanced, how we don't track down people. So I want to talk about this case because there's so much involved. And at the end of the day, what I'm really wanting to emphasize is the father's work to find the killers of his daughter. And it just seems that it's heartbreaking for these parents that have lost someone, and the amount of it becomes like a full-time job for them. You know, I just did a video on Zaharia's children, and they've been missing for over 30 years, and it's literally all their father does is try to find them. And I know who I am, and I know I would do the same thing. And so from the bottom of my heart to her father, Jeff Buziak, I can't imagine the pain you feel. And if in any way we can help as well, then I would like to cover this story for you. I will make sure I link all of my references for you, specifically here on YouTube. Lorden Arts, John Lorden does an amazing podcast called Brain Scratch that I'm really fond of. And he also does a collab with another gal I watch, Danielle Holland. So I'll link all of those. But anyways, John does a 3-part series on Lindsay Buziak. And the second 2 episodes of this series, he actually interviews her father, and it's very informative. You get to really delve into some of the things the father's thinking and some of the things that are on his mind, and it's really worth watching. So thank you guys again for being here, and let's go and jump right into the video. So there's actually a website that is dedicated to the murder of Lindsay Buziak, and it's called lindsaybuziakmurder.com, and it's ran by her father, Jeff Buziak. I'm going to give you the timeline from that website because obviously I feel like that's going to be the most informative, and it's put together with a lot of love and a lot of work by her father. Before I do that, let me give you a little bit of a history on Lindsay. So her mother and father are Evelyn and Jeff Buziak. She was born November 2nd of 1983, and she lived in Victoria, British Columbia, and she was a real estate agent in Canada. And on February 2nd of 2008, she was found murdered in a home that she was showing. And let's talk about how we got to that point, because to this day, her murder is unsolved. So let me give you this information too. Lindsay was incredibly close with her father, very close, obviously very close with her whole family. She had a sister by the name of Sarah. She was very close with her family, but there's really a lot of emphasis now, especially since her father is really out there working on her case. She was really close with him. So, for example, she had a boyfriend by the name of Jason Zalo, and they worked together at a real estate company, which appears to be owned by his mother. They were part of Remax, but maybe like a franchise situation because his mom owned a couple of different offices. So she was dating Jason for a little over a year. And in December prior, so December of 2007, she had actually went, and she was 6 hours from her father. She had went to visit her father for the weekend. They went skiing, and they kind of talked about a lot of things. But one of the specific things is she was talking about that she wasn't sure she wanted to continue the relationship with Jason, that it just didn't feel like it was what she was looking for. There was some references that he was using or selling steroids she just wasn't feeling like this was where she wanted to be. And her father was like, okay, like leave, you know what I mean? Like obviously he was encouraging, but he was also the kind of dad that didn't want to tell her what to do. So she had said some things like she had some real estate transactions that were closing in March and that she would rather wait to receive her compensation. Maybe they closed in February and then she'd get the check in March, but she wanted to kind of wait because his mom and him and whatever. Anyways, but it didn't, like, there wasn't anything like truly alarming. However, she did make a remark to her father that she had seen something she shouldn't have seen, but she would not tell her father what that was regarding. So we're going to get into some of the theories, and your first thought is like, oh, it has to do with Jason, but it might not. So we'll get into that. So here's the situation we have. In January, okay, so January of 2008, Lindsay is working as a real estate agent. She gets a call from a woman with an accent that she can't quite place. She thought it might have been a Spanish accent, but she wasn't really sure. And the woman says that her and her husband are looking to buy a house and gives her the specifics of what they're looking for. But it immediately triggered Lindsay a little bit weird because this was a high budget. So they had $1 million budget. They were specific what they were looking for, and they wanted to move immediately, and she didn't know them. So it's not that she doesn't get referrals, and there's a lot of talk, by the way, about they called her personal cell phone, and she didn't know how they got her personal number. Well, that was her number. It was her real estate number that she used. Anybody who knows a real estate agent, I do not call their desk. I call their cell phone. And so this was her cell phone number being out there was totally nothing to be alarmed about. But it was the fact that, like, she didn't know them and she didn't know where they came from. And to come straight to her, $1 million clients typically have real estate agents already. So anyways, so she, of course she asked like, hey, just, how did you get my number? Like, how did you come to me? And they said they were referred by one of her clients. So that made her feel a little bit more at ease. But of course she wanted to verify this. Thank the client for referring or just kind of get information to make sure they're legit. Like, are they a waste of time? Is it just some like kid calling on the phone? I want to buy $1 million house, and then you run them around and they have, they don't have $2. And she just wanted, for safety's sake, she just wanted to know that this was legit before she went and met with them. So she tried to call her client, but that client had on their voicemail that they were on vacation. So she was unable to verify these people. So she continues to have talks back and forth with him, gathering information. She speaks with the husband. Eventually, the husband they choose a house that they're going to go look at. And there's actually a notebook, so paper. I'll try to put that up if it's not, isn't copyrighted. Where she writes down what they were looking for. Like they wanted a maid's quarters, had to be such a distance from a certain area. So they were kind of specific on what they were looking for. And so eventually they choose a house to go look at. And the husband even calls her and is like, hey, just let you know I'm still going to be there, but my wife is ill, so she won't be there. That's so weird. Like, why would they do the extra? Because then she might have canceled. I'm getting ahead of myself. So on February 2nd of 2008 is when she sets up to go and have a meeting with this couple. And at this point, she thinks just the husband's coming. So she tells her dad, like, hey, I'm kind of worried about this. And he's like, oh, did you try to verify? And she's like, yeah, they're on vacation. He's like, okay, be careful, don't go, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, she talked about all the precautions because her father was also in real estate. She then talks to her boyfriend as well. And he's like, I'm coming, like, she's like, I need you to come with me. She lets her father know, like, hey, nothing to worry about. Jason's coming with me. It's fine. They set the meeting for 5:30 on that day. And it's in the cul-de-sac itself, like the actual street is very small, but the houses are huge. So there's only like 5 houses. At the time, I think there was only 2 up. This one and another one. So like the street is small, but the lots are huge. And so she's going to meet them at 5:30. That afternoon, her and Jason decided to go and have lunch. They had lunch at a place by the name of Sauce. It is said on the website that the waiter knew her very well. At 4:24 p.m., they paid for the bill and left. Lindsay went home to change, and Jason went to a place by the name of SHC. Apparently, that is an auto body shop, but it's like a high-end body shop. Like, the guys that own it are very, very wealthy. Like, they do high-end vehicles, tents, rims, everything. You got to watch John Lorden's Brain Scratch because the father, I don't know if it's like these are his real feelings about rims, but like, or if he's just so hurt by this situation, but he's like, yeah, they have gangster rims there. Poor guy. Like, I feel so bad for him. Like, he's obviously so upset and can't figure this out. And he wants to know, like, are these people somehow involved? Because everything that happened with Lindsay was obviously so orchestrated by somebody with money that it makes you just wonder as we go through the story, the amount of people that get involved, it's kind of weird. I don't want to get off, so sorry. I'm this bad in person when I'm telling stories to people. I go off on 27 tangents. Like, when I go back and edit these, you guys have no idea what I have to cut out. It's my ramblings. So Jason is now at SHC. I said it right that time. And he's there with a friend, and they call the friend CO. Apparently, he's not publicly named. He doesn't want to be involved. So they're not using his name, and it doesn't appear that he has any involvement in this case. He's like a acquaintance friend of Jason's. They said he's not like a best friend or anything. This was just somebody that happened to be there, and he's riding with Jason. So Jason says, like, hey, I gotta go check on my girlfriend. She's showing this house. So we're gonna go by there really quick. So now we have Lindsay went home to change, and then Lindsay heads over to the house because she needs to be there before 5:30. Jason is with his friend. He's going to meet her over there. I don't know how far I want to go into crazy theories. I think I'm going to leave that to you guys to really dig in. I'll give you a high level of some of the main players. Now, witnesses said that they saw a man and a woman approaching this house at around 5:30. What is weird is they're explained as walking into the cul-de-sac. Now, this was an area that had construction because they're building houses, but the construction left around 4:30 or 5. So I don't know why they're walking into the cul-de-sac. Like, park your car. The witnesses saw Lindsay greet the couple as they walked up, and they saw that she had papers sitting on the trunk of her car. And records show that at 5:29, she actually entered into the lockbox of the front of the house. If you're not familiar, when you're selling real estate, they always put like a little lockbox on the front with a little code. You put the code in, it opens, and there's a key to the house. That way, agents can go to the house without having to go and pick up a key. At 5:30, Jason is seen on surveillance at SHC leaving the facility to head to go meet Lindsay. He sends a text message to Lindsay that's like, hey, I'll be there in 10 to 15 minutes. And she responds back, letting him know that the couple is there. There is some questions as to whether or not she sent the text message, but it appears she did because witnesses saw her outside at this time. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. At 5:30, Lindsay actually sent a text message when Jason said that he was on his way. She sends a text message that's back that says, okay, the Mexicans are here. I literally almost didn't cover this case when I read that because I'm not okay with that. But it's 10 years ago. People say things they shouldn't say. And apparently what it was is because she couldn't understand the accent very well and she couldn't place it. There's a lot of talk maybe that it was more of a Colombian accent or they're all, I don't know, all kinds of different accents, but she couldn't place it as like a Spanish accent she was familiar with. So apparently she nicknamed them the Mexicans. Totally tacky. Totally tacky. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it was just play between a boyfriend and girlfriend. I really hope that that's not how she normally spoke. But I'm not going to speak ill of somebody who obviously was brutally murdered. And it was just seemed like it was like a friendly banter between her and her boyfriend because she couldn't place the accent. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So that's why I still decided to cover the case because I think that's, no reason to judge a person for, one stupid text message, right? 8 minutes later at 5:38 p.m., Jason sends another text message that says, I'll be there in a few minutes. Lindsay never opened this text message. Now, according to police, that was the last text message that he sent to Lindsay. He did say on Dateline, however, that he sent one more text message that said, are you okay? And didn't get a response. But it's unconfirmed whether or not that he did send that text message. Now, police believe that Lindsay was murdered right in this moment between 5:38 and 5:41. Now, Jason arrives at the house right at this time. And he had his friend with him. Remember the acquaintance CO that they refer to him? He's there with him. They pull up. It's a little tricky on exactly what happened, but they pull up and they park not right in front of the house. And I'm thinking, like, yeah, I guess if my significant other was a real estate agent and they're showing a house to a big client, like, I probably wouldn't want to like park right up on the house and be like, I'm watching you. We don't trust you. Like, I don't know, that might freak him out. But then again, he's also a real estate agent. So, like, he could have just pulled up and went inside and be like, hey guys, I'm just here to, how's your showing going? Double team him. You know what I mean? But anyways, he pulls up and he like parks a little bit down and he's like watching the house in his rearview mirror. Apparently he sits there for about 10 minutes. He's like waiting and just, make sure everything's okay. And then he moves the car a little bit closer, waits another 10 minutes and is like, okay, like, how's it going? But that confuses me because he says he sends a text message, but the police said no. So what did he do for that 20 minutes? Like, hey, hi. I would call. Hey, just say you're okay. Okay, bye. You know what I mean? I would go in, something like that. When they pulled in originally, like 5:45, 5:38, 5:45, right in that little time frame, when they originally pulled into the neighborhood, originally it was stated that they saw a man through the door, so like a glass door. They saw a man inside. And so, they're like, oh, okay, they're there. The showing's happening. So this gave them like a confirmation that like, okay, she's there. She's doing the showing. She's in the house. Apparently years later, 9 years later, it said that they saw them walking up to the house. So like they came out and then they went back in. So they assumed that's when the showing was starting. This started adding some weird inconsistencies that didn't make sense. Finally, at 6:05 p.m., Jason and his friend decide to go up to the door. They went up to the door and they found that it was locked. At that point, Jason called 911. They then both went around to the side of the house. His friend was able to get over the fence because Jason boosted him over. And then Jason went back around to the front door and his friend went around to the back, came through the open back doors and opened the front door for Jason to go in. This is where it's weird, okay? So I'm going to make sure I put up like pictures of the house. Jason runs in, basically ignores the entire first floor, goes straight to the stairs, goes up the stairs, and then left, right, straight, whatever, goes immediately right, goes right into the master bedroom and right into the master bathroom where he finds Lindsay Buziak murdered. She had been stabbed over 40 times. Now, at this point, police were already en route because of Jason's first phone call saying that he was worried about his girlfriend in the house. At 6:11, his friend phoned police again with the discovery of the body. Police arrived and Jason and his friend were upstairs in the window waving their arms, which that's the window of the bathroom where she was murdered. And it's kind of crazy that paramedics and everything could see them waving in the window. And this is the same window right out on the street where anybody could have looked up and seen what was happening to her. Okay, so first things first, we don't know anything about the murder weapon. That has not been released. Typically, a murder with stabbing and that many stab wounds is typically a crime of passion and a very, very direct harm, to harm someone. This is obviously was a murder that was calculated and hired and set up, but it also was done with like vengeance and hurt to cause severe pain to the family. The first thing police did was they did track back to try to track down the couple that she was showing the house to, because the assumption, of course, at first is like, okay, they might be witnesses. The phone that they were contacting her on was a burner phone. The phone was bought in November of 2007 in Vancouver, but the phone was not activated until January of 2008. And the only person that phone ever contacted was Lindsay. The day before, 24 hours before her murder, the phone traveled from Vancouver to Victoria. And then after the murder, the phone was never used again and it's never been found. I think the biggest thing to know is because we can all kind of speculate, but it's very obvious that this murder was orchestrated. Obviously, somebody had a burner phone, somebody communicated with her. Those people can no longer be found and they have never come forward. So this was obviously a complete setup. There's no other way around it. This you don't have people with burner phones setting this all up and then somehow they left right before the murder took place and then the murder happened and then that person got gone and then Jason came. Like, that's not possible. Like, these people were responsible and they set this entire thing up, and so it's obvious. So then you have to look into her past and try to figure out who would do this. Why? There are some popular theories that came forward, and I'm just going to give you the overview of them, and you guys can go look into them. Number one, apparently in 2007, there was a massive drug bust. In Calgary, there was a series of drug busts that lasted over an entire year, a total of 80 kilos between January and December of 2008. So this was like a massive, 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 massive drug bust that happened. And there were some people who said that Lindsay had recently traveled there and connected with like some old elementary school friends. For the most part, what everyone says now is that that is just a total coincidence. She was not like close friends with anyone. This was just like she just ran into some people, hung out, and then some of those people were somewhat connected to some people because there was this whole thing that people thought maybe she was the snitch that was setting all of these people up in this drug bust. The police have come forward and said, no, she is not the snitch. She's not it. And I think they do that. Oh, my bracelet broke. I think they do that for a couple of reasons. To instant speculation, to reduce the risk of harm to the family for anyone who might start to think that she actually was involved. I don't think it was like a tactic to get people off of it so that, because like if she's dead, she's dead. Like just say, I don't know, but maybe they don't want the family to get harmed. It just seems like that theory was pretty weak for such an extreme hit on just her. And she wasn't even that connected. So it's kind of off. The same thing with Jason apparently had some friends who got busted, but it was like on a very small level. So again, this is like a mass orchestrated hit. The original drug bust, it would only make sense if it had seemed that there was more of a connection to her being involved. Then yeah, because of that massive of a drug bust, then yeah, this kind of hit would make sense for that large of a drug bust. But it just doesn't seem to fit. It just seems like that was such a big, like, off the wall theory. Now, police and everyone have done really thorough digging into Lindsay's life. And this is one thing that I didn't find and I can't find other than like crazy crazy people who say weird stuff. There doesn't seem to be anything in her background. She had no criminal history. In fact, she was known for being completely anti-drug, completely anti-criminal activity. She really tried to live a really good life. But there was that statement she made to her dad that she saw something she shouldn't. So there are some ideas that, okay, remember we said her boyfriend Jason's mom owned the real estate company. I'll let you guys watch it on when Jeff Buziak, her father, was interviewed on the podcast. He does not speak very well of his mother, of Jason's mother, and that she is like scary, crazy, like rich, powerful, demanding. Yeah. And so it just makes you wonder. She was thinking about breaking up with Jason. She wasn't happy in the relationship. And then she saw something. And then there's just a lot. It makes you just wonder. Police have said that they're working on several theories. They found nothing in her background. And that it would be totally possible for one of the people who entered the home to be the mastermind. So I think even they know that there is a chance that Jason orchestrated this whole thing. He pulled onto the street. He saw nothing upstairs in the window ever, he was watching the house for 20 minutes. He never saw anything. He never saw them leave. Okay, so maybe they went out the back. He never heard anything, not a yell, not a scream. There were some boards that were knocked loose in the back. So the theory is that they kicked the boards to get over, maybe, I don't know, or go through. I just can't believe that your girlfriend is being murdered and you're right outside. And you perfectly, perfectly time it so that you arrive right after. You have a coincidental witness with you who's not even like a close friend. You were at a body shop hanging out before. Why did he go to the body shop? Why didn't he just go home with her to change and then just ride with her? Why was he late? Why be late? Like, why not just be there? It just seemed so perfectly orchestrated. And then he went straight in. There's a lot of interesting things people talk about since then. He's really not shown a lot of emotion, which I know that there's completely innocent people who don't show emotion. I always wonder what I would be like because I can be so cold, like, especially when I'm hurt. I'm like, oh, I hope nobody like that happens to me. And they're like, oh, she's so cold. Ah. So I don't want to judge it based on just that, but there's just a lot that makes you wonder about what really happened to her. And it's just sad. She was just this bright, smart, beautiful woman who had her head on straight. There are so many comments that, like, I wish her dad was my dad because he's like this amazing, dedicated father. As my heart would ache for him. You know, this is his life. This is what he's doing. He's trying to find the person who murdered his daughter. So I encourage you guys to go onto lindsaybuziakmurder.com. It is so informative. It literally, I would have to do like 3-part series to get all of this in, but I kind of wanted to give you guys the gist, and then I will let you guys go dig into the conspiracy theories and leave me some comments below. There's even a poll on the lindsaybuziakmurder.com, so you can try to figure out who you think did it. There's a list of suspects, of ideas of who could have been involved. It's really, really... So who do I think? I think the boyfriend was involved. I think he was. I think him and his mom, something to do with real estate. There's too many people involved, and the real estate market is crazy, and there's money. And I think that she saw something. You know, there was a case way back here. I'm in Bakersfield, California, and I don't know, I kind of know these people. Maybe I shouldn't mention it. Anyways, I will. Anyways, there was these 2 guys here in Bakersfield, older guy, younger guy. I went to school with a younger guy. And they started a real estate company. And they legitimately were like jacked our entire real estate market here for years because they were overinflating houses and then taking out seconds and just like flooding the market with like foreclosures. It was so bad. They're in prison. I know them. Anyways, I knew the kid and the older guy, and it's very sad. And the kid, I call him a kid, he's my age, but this was over 10 years ago. And so he's like this, you know, late 20 kid, and money. You're seeing money, and they were buying jets and cars, and it's just like, whoa. And like where I live, like, yeah, there's rich people, but not like really like I think there's a Maserati somewhere. Like, we don't have cars like that. And so this was like a big deal. And, you know, they see money and they want all this. And then you have this older gentleman who's like accomplished and done. And he's at that inn and he just wants that last little gust of money. And what people are willing to do, your morals, what? I couldn't believe that people would be willing to sacrifice everything they've ever done and accomplished for more money. It's a sick, twisted world. And I can only imagine how easily it would have been for them to do it. They have access to money. They have access to those kind of people. And I 100% believe that it has to do with real estate. And her father said that he believes it has to do with real estate. So I don't think it's a weird client that or something like that. I really think that it had to do something that she knew within the mom's business that something happened, and they decided that that was the best way to deal with it. So Let me know what you guys think, because I am very curious. There are some conversations about the owners of the people who were building. It's all on the website. So, okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you made it this far, you get to see the giveaway winner. So as I stated to you guys before, this is my first giveaway of many. I appreciate you guys so much and being supportive. I did do some more research after, and I think I have an idea how to do my next giveaway when we do, and to make it more international. I was really worried about, and you guys were so kind. I really thank you for no hate. Like, I appreciate it. I just wasn't sure about sending funds in a giveaway outside of the US and breaking any rules. And so I was trying to be careful of that. But I think I figured out how to do it for my next giveaway. So thank you for bearing with me. The giveaway, what is going to happen is that I am going to contact the winner, which will be up on the screen in a minute. And I will contact that winner, and I will need your address, and I will send you a $50 Visa gift card. Spend it well. Have fun. Treat yourself. Thank you guys for everyone who's so lovely. It was like, no, just donate no. Spend it on yourself, because I truly believe that people who take care of themselves and are happy do better and give better. And you're a better person when you feel like a better person. So go do something for yourself. Whatever it is. Go out to lunch, go on a date, have a drink, whatever you like. Treat yourself and make sure you send me pictures. Unless you just go grocery shopping. I don't care. Send me grocery shopping. I won't post it. But I'm really excited for you guys. So thank you. And then I would like you to tell me, the winner, the name of a charity that you would like me to donate $50 in your name. And as soon as I have that from you, and as long as, again, like, it's not like Satan for puppies. That's like the best example I can give. As long as it's not like a crazy nonprofit that I like literally can't even like imagine seeing on my bank statement, then I will send $50 in your name to that charity. So the winner of our giveaway is so if that winner does not contact me within the next, 72 hours, then I will be drawing for a second winner. If I do that, if I have to redraw, then make sure you check my Instagram, which is at Melissa Ellen, or the community tab here on YouTube. If you guys are not familiar with that, if you go to anyone's channel, you can click on community and you can see a lot of their updates. Those updates also show up in your subscriptions on. Screw this. I'm keeping the money. I'm going to buy a new chair. I'm kidding. I'm going to go look this weekend, though. I'm trying to get a new vanity, and I want it to... Just don't move. All right, I'm going to leave the video on that. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Hug your babies. Hug your loves. Life is absolutely precious. Enjoy every minute of every day. I love you guys, and thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Like, every part of me is about to take these earrings out, put my hair in a ponytail, and start editing. And then I'm going to get there and I'll be like, oh, you forgot to say. I think I got everything. We'll see. Love you guys.